Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Happy October 1st, y'all. We got a good one coming up today. In today's episode, we got mysterious videos shut down on TikTok. You guys ready? Let's have some fun today. Y'all sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
I was at home. I was at home and I was looking at on Twitter. It had popped up like the news alerts or whatever. Then I had one on Twitter, and I was like, I thought it was just like a shooting at the campus or something like that. But then I saw the video, and the video was what got me. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, we were not supposed to see that. Like the average person is not.
Did you see the unedited version?
Oh yeah, that's the first thing I saw. Like it was fresh right when it came out, the video of it, right after that. And I was like, as American or anybody, we're not supposed to see stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's something that you're not supposed to, the average person is not supposed to see at all. That was like my first thought. And then it like hit me to where it's like, you just watch somebody get assassinated, a political figure, if you will, on live TV, live stream. That was wild. That was wild, man. That was wild. And I haven't seen the impact. I told my wife, I was like, when they were saying he got rushed to the hospital, and I was just like, unfortunately, I was like, he's not going to make it. Like, that was a devastating shot, and the amount of arterial spray and blood that came out of his neck was, you don't survive stuff like that.
And that's another thing. Erica was like, don't say anything. Or if she lied about anything publicly, if she was like, no, Charlie wasn't attending mass, like I would be like, okay, this is a little weird. Why is she massaging? But she's not doing that. So I just feel that it's unfair. And people that are not used to constantly being on stage and presenting like Charlie was, that he had the it factor, Charlie get up there and the room was alive. And now we're judging the people he loved in his life who don't do that for a living. And I just really just feels to me like it's unfair. So I wanted to express that and just say that. And yeah, anyways, next week we will not be on air.
The truth about Halloween. Halloween is the highest day on the satanic calendar. It is the most probably important day on the satanic calendar. It's considered a high day. It is also the night of the year where there is the most human sacrifice on the whole planet. So if we look at it in let's call it the popular culture aspect first. So many people think Halloween is about candy and it's about dress up, but they don't question the meaning behind it. So let's say, for instance, in a neighborhood or an area, there's homes that celebrate Halloween, where they put up the decorations and they do the pumpkins and they do the candles and the candy, those things, right? And it's fun. Let's say in a neighborhood, there is houses that do that. So that whole perimeter becomes one big satanic ritual for that whole neighborhood.
Wait. So you're telling me, because I've got them already up, it's September, there's skeletons, there's creepy stuff in our neighborhood already. So you're saying my neighborhood right now is cooked? Like, what are you saying there?
So I'm saying that in a neighborhood or a area perimeter where there is a few homes, that is already a set up as in terms of a hotspot for demonic activity. And anybody, whether they're Christian or non-Christian, that have open doors, that moves or lives in a neighborhood like that will be affected. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so what do we do as Christians?
So, firstly, we make sure that we are in righteous standing with God, that we do not have any hidden sin or open doors in our life, that we are in a righteous covenant with Him. So if we can get there, that is a very good place to start. And then it is about praying, like being in serious prayer, that people who celebrate Halloween, whether they're being a Satanist or an atheist or someone having fun, that whilst they're doing that, that they will actually have a true encounter with Christ.
So this is a big, big day, a beautiful day, potentially one of the great days ever in civilization. And I want to thank Bibi for really getting in there and doing a job. We worked well together. If accepted by Hamas, this proposal calls for the release of all remaining hostages immediately, but in no case more than 72 hours. And it means the immediate end to the war itself, not just Gaza. It's the war itself.
You are the greatest friend that Israel has ever had in the White House. And Mr. President, you and I both know it's not even close. But if Hamas rejects your plan, Mr. President,
Big words.
or if they supposedly accept it and then basically do everything to counter it, then Israel will finish the job by itself. This can be done the easy way, or it can be done the hard way, but it will be done. We prefer the easy way, but it has to be done. All these goals must be achieved because we didn't fight this horrible fight, sacrifice the finest of our young men to have Hamas stay in Gaza and threaten us again and again and again with these horrific massacres. Your plan provides a practical and realistic path forward for Gaza in the coming years, in which Gaza will be administered neither by Hamas nor the Palestinian Authority, but by those committed to a genuine peace with Israel.
They talked about this sort of board that would help oversee this technocratic governing body that would essentially help get a governing structure on its feet, rebuild Gaza. And with that kind of buy-in from international partners, there's certainly much more optimism, but we've been here before. There have been deals that have come close before. Certainly, a number of Israeli political analysts have pointed to the fact that Netanyahu is getting an awful lot of pressure within his own country. It's mounting, particularly from the families of the hostages as well, but inside the country, just from the general populace who want to see an end to this. And he has, it has been suggested, been looking for an off-ramp. So this sort of broad package appears to give, as he said to the president, it gives him everything he has been looking for.
No, don't do it. Scientology. That's Shannon, right? Shannon, what are you doing out here sneaking around, Shannon? You're trying to recruit people into your cult? Watch out, there's a Scientologist right there. You really coming out here trying to recruit people into your cult like that, Shannon? Don't knock over the kid, Shannon. Look at her, she's running. Look at her running. Shannon, what are you doing out here? You're trying to recruit people, and now you're going to private property to recruit? Now you're going to the private property to recruit. Hey, that's a Scientologist right there, undercover trying to recruit. You watch out for her. Look at her. Walk of shame, Shannon. Walk of shame, Shannon.
The guy that they had in the picture and the guy that they caught, they're not even the same dude. If anybody believes those are the same people, they need glasses. Does nobody realize that that's not even the same person? Are we that stupid, or do they just assume everybody's that stupid? Or are they just basically proving everybody's this stupid?
The state of California, like 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, 8 days ago, something like that, has passed a law in the state legislature, both chambers of the state legislature. It awaits a signature from Gavin Newsom that would ban hate speech on the internet in California. Hate speech. Now, how do they define hate speech? I actually have the definition. I actually wrote it down because I was so shocked by it that this is happening. The state of California, if Gavin Newsom signs this law, and he has until October 13th to do it, people will be fined if the censors determine that speech constitutes, and we're quoting now, violence, intimidation, or coercion. What's intimidation or coercion? Right. Or coercion based on race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, immigration status, or other protected characteristics. Obviously, white Christian men are not covered under that. And so the society becomes ever more hierarchical with a Brahmin class and untouchables at the bottom, the opposite of the country all of us over 50 grew up in, that had an egalitarian spirit where some were rich, some were poor, some were smart, some were dumb, some had good jobs, others were unemployed, but all of us were considered equal under the law and equal in the eyes of God. And that concept is the basis of a stable society, any stable society, and it was the basis of stability in this country. And laws like this and the attitudes that give birth to them, to laws like this, have made it wildly unstable. Wobbly, it's so unstable. So as of October 13th, that could become law. Now, that's a censorship law. Now, they'll say, no, we're actually getting the platforms to censor. Well, right. You're getting someone else to do the job for you. But if you hire a hitman and he carries out the hit, you're the murderer. He participated in it, but you hired him. And that's exactly what's going on here. The state of California, under Gavin Newsom, is about to, we think, censor the opinions of Americans. Not to protect anybody, but to shield themselves from criticism so they can continue to do what they want to do in secret.
Now, I was just out in San Diego, and it was a different world from where I'm at out here in Texas. Different world, y'all. Whole bunch of those flags everywhere, at the library, at restaurants, just everywhere, just in your face. People were rude. Workers, the homeless. I got flipped off twice out there. I went to Walmart to do some returns before we got on the plane back, and there was a bum wanting to fight a manager at Walmart. Like, it's chaos out there. And that was a weekday. I can only imagine what LA's like. That was San Diego, where San Diego is usually more chill, relaxed. Like, I can only imagine what it's like out there in LA, y'all. And it's all the division out there. Texas don't really have, it's got some division, but not really. There's nobody flying Trump flags out here. There's no one flying thin blue line flags out here. There's no one even flying the Mexico flag, and I'm right here on the border. People fly the American flag out here. I tripped out on that. Arizona's the opposite of that, y'all. And it's because of these division. Texas out here, everyone's just minding their business, just getting through the day. They don't got time for all that.
You know what's crazy about this whole scenario with this Hollywood stuff is to see this. Y'all don't even remember this, and y'all just forgot overnight where she adopted
things like
this kid from, raised him, and turned him, basically groomed him into something that he probably didn't want to grow up into. This is Hollywood for you guys. This is what you guys like to praise. These are the people that you guys look up to. Same praise that we give these people if we gave to God. Think about how much blessings will run our way. But let me don't put the case of that. Let me just put the case of logically thinking. What's the agenda of all this stuff? Why do you guys want to turn men into women so badly? Like, what's the purpose of it? Now, for a grown man to make that decision, that's a grown man. You could do whatever you want. Chop it off, keep it, extend it, blank it off. But you see kids, leave kids alone, guys. Let kids just be kids and grow up to find out what they want.
So we found even more connections when it comes to the movie Snake Eyes and the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Guys, this is just getting crazy. So during the night of the assassination, there is a hurricane outside of the arena, and the hurricane's name is Jezebel. We know that witches put a spell on Charlie Kirk, and their whole organization was called Jezebel. And this is weeks prior to his assassination. Also in the movie, it was said that he was hit by a sniper. But come to find out, he was shot in the neck by a remote-controlled gun hidden behind an advertising banner in the arena. And there's a lot of speculation going around right now, people trying to figure out who hit Charlie. So Charles Kirkland, who was a political figure, was hit in the neck by what was supposed to be a sniper. He was hit on September 10th. Charlie Kirk was also hit on September 10th in the neck by what was supposed to be a sniper. During this night, a fight was going on with a man named the executioner Tyler. The man who was said to sniper Charlie's name was Tyler. The taglines for the movie is "Believe everything except your eyes." Watch closely. He's got 14,000 eyewitnesses and no one saw a thing. Seeing is deceiving. Now you see it, now you don't. Guys, that's way too many connections. I'm even mind blown. Please, if you know more, put them in the comments.
I heard from an OG that they used to find barrels of guns along the train tracks, just sitting there, Uzis, and like fully automatic guns, bro, like just sitting there for people to find. Little kids in the ghetto throwing rocks on the train tracks, what they do, stumble across a whole barrel of guns.
So you think the government left them there? Have you heard of any such thing in Long Beach?
Not Long Beach, but Watts, Compton. Yeah, they bring a train out there just full of guns, you know, and
just have
and people just hit the train, and you know, next thing you know, you'll hear some hood somewhere, you know, selling, you know, new nines for 300. You know what I'm saying? Or they got AKs over here for 700, and you know, just like it was always mysterious crates of weapons popping up throughout the ghetto.
So this is a real thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow. So you think the government is like, okay, we're going to leave these guns in this high crime neighborhood, and they're just going to kill each other?
Population control.
What? I mean, it wasn't even really a high crime neighborhood until that happened, right? But you hear the stories, you know, I watched the interviews of the old school, you know, gang members from the 80s, from the 70s, and they say, you know, we once in a while somebody might get hit with a bat, maybe stabbed, but we always fought, right? 90s is when it took off. The drugs, the movies, the guns. That's when it took off in the 90s, when they were leaving all these things. I believe it, y'all. I mean, we see it with the protests. They throw bricks, a pallet of bricks out there magically when there's about to be a protest. Like, this is what they do. This is what they do. And they just keep us divided. So no, nothing changes. Nothing changes if nothing changes.
The biggest lies perpetrated on the American people from 9/11.
Huge parts of the 9/11 story were left out of the commission report. For example, what happened to Building 7, which was not only not next to the Twin Towers, which were hit by airplanes, but had a building in between itself and those buildings, collapsed that afternoon for reasons that no one has been able to explain since. You're not a lunatic for asking. There's no plausible explanation for how that building collapsed.
Well, so let's talk about that.
That's not even mentioned.
Have you?
Now, I think this 9/11 thing, 40, 50 years from now, when I can't do nothing about it, I'm going to be 80, right? It's going to come out like the JFK files. Did anything happen when they said the JFK files? Did anybody really look it up? No. I mean, we already knew, but they came out and said it, and the world didn't do an uprising. If they did that back in the 60s, there would have been an uprising. That affected everybody back in that day. Just like 9/11 affected, you know, I was 11 years old, so, you know, I didn't really get affected, but if I was 20, 25, you know, that really affects you, you know, because you know what's going on. But 40, 50 years from now, when my son's 40, 50, and they come out and say it was an inside job, he's not really gonna, it's not gonna affect him because he didn't live through it, right? It happened 20 years ago, right? So I think that's coming one day, y'all. One day it's going to come out, but the people that were affected by it are going to be long gone. So, you know, it's just going to be swept under the rug, just like the JFK files.
All the crazy developments that happened today, for some reason I don't think you'll have, and please read in between the lines, because this gets really weird. Former CIA intelligence coming out saying that planes aren't safe. Putin's war against the Satanists, and all of a sudden everyone's backing Ukraine to take back land. We'll get right back to the pillaging of Christians, because that's what that was. This is happening in Italy right this minute because they refuse to acknowledge a Palestinian state. But do you remember what I showed you yesterday, how it was all flooded everywhere catastrophically, even Spain teaching their children how to cope in natural disasters? But 1000% unrelated, right before that crazy flooding, we had a whole bunch of protests all countrywide. That was wild. And in Syria right now, they're literally burning down entire Christian villages. Speaking of Christian, the rapture did not happen. Please pause and read this right quick. So y'all can apologize now. I wasn't trying to crash in your parade. I was just telling you the truth. Of course, we all want to go be with Jesus. And again, I tell you, do not forget the people who told you what was happening, just like last year. So last week, after the massive situation happened, one of the biggest things we've ever seen, a bunch of crazy narratives started going. And then all of a sudden, the people on the other side of those narratives started warning us, Piglet, and that there is an era to warning going on, that very seriously, they got the green light to do terrible things inside of America. The accounts that were telling us this are accounts that seem to know an awful lot, and attack people who are looking for the truth. Now, former CIA analyst comes out and says, it's going down, watch the planes and other things.
10% of the attackers be bombers, and they're going to bomb airliners. So there will be a very large-scale attack on the U.S. homeland. The terrorists are already here. The plan is operational.
Of course, that's completely irrelevant from what happened last week and also from the narratives. This part's insane. So Russia comes out against international Satanists, right? So what happens? This guy comes up, backs Ukraine, and says that Ukraine is going to be able to, that he thinks they can take back the land. I thought we're doing like the no more WAR. I can't explain to you guys how bad this is right now geopolitically, but I will tomorrow. The yellow and blue went for civilians also. I wonder why the president would change his mind. Certainly it's not the international Satanist. That's absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think below.
Does this look familiar to you? Because it sure reminds me of something, except it's not in the right place. It's not in the right place. That's from a national park in Pakistan. But like I said, it reminds me of something somewhere else. The Sphinx in Egypt. Doesn't that look like what I just showed you? It does. It does. This is it in Pakistan at a place called Boozy Pass, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Doesn't that look a lot like the Sphinx? It does to me, but people say it's a natural rock formation, and maybe it is. But other people say no, it's a second Sphinx. And even though I can't pronounce Sphinx, or Sphinx, it does look a lot like it. So is it possible that there's another Sphinx outside of Egypt? Because I always thought this thing was unique, and unique to Egypt. But this rock formation in Pakistan sure looks a lot like it. What do you think, Booshkies? Let me know in the comment section, which is down there. Shabadoo, Booshkies. Shabadoo.
It is time to wake up, people. This is a real tweet. I checked. A quote-unquote American commentator advocating that the U.S. change their constitution so that Netanyahu can become president. This is the next step. But to do that, you need something to control the hearts and minds of Americans.
But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are in social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is class. TikTok.
Hold on a second. I just had to pause real quick. Did you guys hear that? Somebody said bots. Bots? Who are the ones accusing the other countries of using bots again? Anyway, let's continue.
TikTok. TikTok. Number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential.
Quote, turns out it didn't need to be eliminated. TikTok is a message force multiplier after all, and only requires, apparently, the right people to own it. Like Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison. See, told you I would come back to Larry. He is the second richest man in the world and the single biggest private donor of the Israeli Defense Forces, someone who has referred to the state of Israel as his own. Do people not see something wrong here with an American citizen being the biggest private donor of a foreign army? That is very weird.
I have been to Israel. I've been to the border. I have spent time to the people who govern the state of Israel. And I feel a deep emotional connection to the state of Israel and the Israeli people. We have two CEOs at Oracle. One's name is Safra Katz, and she was born in Israel. So again, we love the country of Israel, and we'll do everything we can to support the country of Israel.
I'll repeat what he just said again. We will do everything we can to support the country of Israel. They've already put a former IDF soldier, Erica Mandel, as the head of content moderation at TikTok. And also, if we just zoom out for a second, the Ellison family now controls CBS, Paramount, Warner, CNN, and TikTok. That is now a secured Israeli propaganda ecosystem. Now, DropSite is already reporting that TikTok is escalating a sweeping crackdown on pro-Palestine creators, deleting videos, scrubbing comments, and burying posts about Gaza. They've also evidently introduced an overhaul of its community guidelines, banning users from calling the IDF terrorists and rolling out automated moderation that retroactively wipes posts. Users are reporting Free Palestine comments disappearing in real time and Israeli war crimes videos getting taken down. Wow, remember when I said more than a year ago that the TikTok deal had nothing to do with China and everything to do with Israel?
Is the TikTok ban about China or is it about Israel?
And then I was summarily smeared in the Atlantic as a anti-Semitic conspiracy theorist. Well, I guess it turns out the difference between a conspiracy theory and a conspiracy is about 6 months to a year.
Enough. So I think your next campaign slogan has to be this: we got to start eating. We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2. All of you, you're a pollutant. We have to start now, please. You are so great. I'm so happy that you're really supporting the Green Deal, but it's not enough. We still have too many people, so we have to get rid of the big problem. Campaign slogan has to be this: we got to start eating.
What an absolute nut job. The world is truly
absolute nut job.
Not well. Did I go sleep and wake up in a new dimension where people say things like this in front of a massive audience and think it's okay? And what strikes me is when she says we need to start doing it. What world do you live in? These demons already do stuff like that.
We don't know anything. I don't know who did what. It seems very odd. I don't know if it came from the left, came from the right, came from the center. I don't know if it was that dip that they caught. But at the end of the day, look at Epstein. You had Bongino and Kash Patel just, release the files. Then they get in there. Then they get elected. And all of a sudden, dude, are we still talking about this guy? There's nothing to see here. Dude, somebody's getting to these people. Okay, well, if you can get that many people to go with your narrative, you're massively powerful. And if you're that powerful, the only thing that gives me solace is I've read the book and I know how it ends. That's the only thing that I smile for, is because whatever happens, I know how it ends.
What are Black Soda Soul? I don't care what anyone says. What is that? He's admitted to it in songs. He said, sometimes I gotta sell my soul for them to pay attention. One. Number two, when I called him, he was acting completely demonic. He FaceTimed me on Red's phone and he said, what's that? Right? And I said, it's a 17, it's my Israel number. He said, oh. He's like, what'd I say? I can't see it. And he gets closer, then I say, it says 17. He flips the camera and he smiles like a demon. Like this. Passed the phone to Red, and all I could feel was like he flew like a vulture. What did he do? Did he fly?
All I can say is, wow, do you think he was telling the truth? Because you hear so many stories like this that are out there, and this is just one of them. But it's shocking to actually hear it said out loud. How many more people need to say that they have sold their soul before the world finally starts to believe that there's some truth in it? Go look at my profile. There are countless examples of this. The pattern is always the same, and that's what makes this scary. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below.
Yeah, I mean, we see so many of these clips. The dude said Kodak Black flew away like a vulture. I've seen an interview. It was on one of the late nights, whether it was Jay Leno, Conan, Jimmy Kimmel. I don't know. It was one of those. I forgot who was on there, but he was saying I went into the, into the studio with not Eminem, with Lil Wayne. And Lil Wayne always says he's an alien. He's not from here. He's from a different planet. And he said, when I went in that studio, they were all in a circle, like talking and summoning aliens when he went in the studio. He said this on Jimmy Kimmel, on one of those late night shows. He said, I went into that studio and they were all in a circle and they were talking in a different language, talking to aliens, summoning something. Like, this is where they get their lyrics from. This is why he can go in the booth and when you see him, coming up with songs, he's talking under his breath, like he's summoning something. It's giving him the knowledge to do that, y'all. I've seen clips of people that break it all down and they say that's what selling your soul is. The demon inside you gives you the knowledge to make that song, to make that art, to do all these things. You just have to do one thing in order to get that every single day. It's deep, y'all. It's deep.
I want to talk about Project Sunstreak because I thought it was fake until I went on the CIA.gov. On December 5th, 1988, this one man was to find the Ark of the Covenant. This is what he said about the Ark of the Covenant. Target is in a container. This container decorated with seraphims. The target is located somewhere in the Middle East as the language spoken by individuals seem to be Arabic. The target is hidden underground. It has something to do with ceremony, memory, and the resurrection.
What?
There is an aspect of spirituality, lessons, and historical knowledge far beyond what we know. The target is protected by entities. This container cannot be opened until the time is deemed correct. Individuals opening the container by prying or striking are destroyed by the container's protectors through the use of a power unknown to us. Psychoenergetics is what it's called. The ability to describe remote areas, ability to influence physical or biological systems via undefined physical mechanisms.
The CIA was running. It's not like
for years
they learned about it and they're just putting it in there for archive purposes. Like they were doing this.
I'll tell you my take on this. I think the person in the maroon that's walking is different from the person that's walking up the stairs. It makes sense in the timeline of George Zinn, the decoy boy, that we've got other people that are doing different things, and they do not want us to prod the narrative about the person in maroon. So I'm gonna assume, if you planned it for weeks, that he didn't go to campus earlier because he wanted to scope things out. He would have obviously been able to do that already because he's been planning this for a week. He knew where Charlie was speaking, right? You should have footage of him in that Dodge Challenger just waiting and salivating. He kept checking. He said, oh, I'm waiting to get that rifle back. Where is the footage? Surely during a manhunt, I feel like we are tech capable enough that during a manhunt, after a murderer of a college student decides to take out Charlie Kirk, who has been a friend of the feds, surely this is a big issue. And to put to rest these conspiracies, you're going to show us that drone footage, and we're going to see the Dodge Challenger just sitting there for hours and hours and hours. Because I'm sure at that point, like, cops maybe set up some barricades or something. Every inch of that campus is covered. So we should be able to see he's wearing maroon, and you're telling us that he went back to his car and changed. Show us him leaving campus before he returns back to campus around 11:30. Just show us the footage. Okay?
Now, when that happened, she was trying to crawl out the back. Now, I don't know if that's instincts. I don't know. But if that shot came from the front seat, I'd be trying to crawl out the back too. You know what I mean? But like I said, that footage came out. It's blurry. Who knows? But if it's true, did anybody bat an eye? Like, I'm just being honest, y'all. I'm not trying to, say what happened wasn't a tragedy, none of that, right? But it's on. Like, did you guys bat an eye? Did you guys lose sleep? Did you guys want to do an uprising over that? No, because it didn't affect you. I mean, it didn't affect you like it affected people when it first happened. Now, imagine if that came out the day after that happened. There'd be riots in the streets, y'all. Same with 9/11. If September 12th it came out that the government did something, oh, can you imagine what would have happened? We were all together at that time.
You sure, bro? You sure? Because I don't got nothing. Okay. All right, how about this? You help me, I could potentially help you. So what you just said earlier was more important information. Do you think you can say that again so I can tell people what they be doing out here in Dallas? If you can do that for me, I can help you out. Deal?
Yeah.
All right, so let me know. So just start from the beginning.
Okay. Would you record it?
Yeah.
Okay. So on Hickory Street, it's a homeless encampment where there's tents and stuff at. And there was one particular tent where there's a guy down there that I associate with, and while we were sitting there, it was 2 white males and 1 Mexican female. They came over there and they and said, we're going to paint over on the bridge, and which the bridge is literally over my left shoulder, that building, but it's more like 4 feet away. And he was like, I don't care, go ahead. And to be honest, we were sitting there smoking cigarettes and drinking beer. And when they went, they painted some graffiti, it looked good.
Right.
And police car rolled by. And if it was what people known as, like presidents say, gangbangers or whatever, graffiti, they would have, pulled them over and ticketed them, whatever. But them people had no care about it. The next thing we realized is that it's on the news that the homeless is tearing up the neighborhoods doing graffiti, but it wasn't the homeless, it was these people, which it seems like they're being sent to do it to make it look as if the homeless is doing it. They're building a new, community over here, and so now they're having street cleaning trucks. Which when street cleaning trucks come, you got the water and the sprayers going. These trucks is coming, you can come out and see it yourself at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, but they're not cleaning the streets. There's no water coming out. It's nothing but dust being kicked around as if they're just trying to force people to get up and go, you know what I mean? Which is what they're doing, but it's really, I mean, it's not, humanity is not fair, it's not, you're not even, this is what they're doing behind closed doors.
Right.
And it's really just, if you come and see, it's unhumane what they're doing. Even though the way that the homeless are living, some of it is unhumane, but the way that they're coming at it is unhumane, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the way you get rid of them, I'm not into homelessness, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you really want to end homelessness, my opinion, is you exterminate it, you know what I'm saying? It's like you have an exterminator come out and exterminate roaches. You don't just get a person to move into an apartment because you're moving them in with the roaches, you know what I'm saying? The same with the drugs and all that. So you got to really go to what the problem is, you know what I'm saying? Which is what they're not trying to deal with or talk about, you know what I mean? But that's it.
Okay, cool. So look.
Right? Because people don't understand the power that they possess. This is the biggest trick they ever did, right? They took everything from you, right? Hid it within you and told you it's down the street. And you've been checking down the street your whole life. Because listen, I think a person never learned how to live until they broke, rich, and then broke again. That's the common denominator of waking up. Listen, because when you broke, rich, and broke again, you're going to realize the trick, right? Because you're going to be the same. So nothing ever changed, right? But it depends on where you appreciate your power.
Why did God destroy the world? The reason why God destroyed the world is not because of humans, but because of something else. These people are called the Nephilim. Okay, so the Nephilim are children of angels and women. Okay, so what happened was that the angels who were supposed to watch humanity came down and saw, wow, these humans, these females are really beautiful. So what do? Well, they have sex with them, right? And then what happens? They have lots and lots of children. And what do these children do? These children enslave humanity. These people are called Nephilim, okay? So if you want to understand what happened, let's do a thought experiment. Let's just say that there's this group of superhumans called the Avengers. Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, okay? And they fight Thanos and they save the world. And now what do? Well, they're bored, so they start to have lots and lots of sex. They have lots and lots of children. And these children now are like demigods, right? So what do? Well, they enslave humanity. But then what do? Well, they start fighting amongst themselves. Okay? So that's basically what happened. So God had to destroy the Nephilim because they are not natural. Angels and humans are not supposed to have sex with each other. And this creates a new power called the Nephilim. The problem, though, is the Nephilim are divine, and therefore they cannot be killed. So you can get rid of their mortal bodies, but now they become demons who live underground and are in the shadows. And guess what, guys? They're still here today. So these two societies, they believe the Nephilim are real, and they still control the world. The richest people in the world are actually Nephilim.
Makes sense.
Okay? Because they've been around for thousands of years, and therefore they're able to control the development of humanity. Okay, so they're called the Nephilim.
Well, we know why they selected Bad Bunny to perform the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Well, I don't know about y'all, but I know I know. But if you know like me, leave it down below in the comments. I mean, it's obvious. It's right there in your face. I don't know. You got eyes, right? You can see. You can see why, right? He played their game to the best of his abilities. And as you can see, they rewarded him by letting him perform at the halftime, y'all. Look at the picture. Just take a look at the picture, y'all. Bad Bunny finna be doing his thing on stage. On the biggest platform.
It's gonna be a crazy
but y'all
one,
see
y'all.
why though. People is not understanding like, why Bad Bunny? Come on, I mean, it's obvious. He paid his dues and they wanted to select him. He was really committed to his craft, y'all. To rising up in the rankings. So all in all, y'all think they grabbed the right person? Let me know down below in the comments. This shit.
Good for Bad Bunny, y'all. He worked very hard to get to that position, right? But how the mainstream media, for the people that are asleep, are putting it out, they're making it a race thing. They're getting people to, say, I don't want him doing it because he doesn't speak English. There shouldn't be. That's how they're putting it. That's how the mainstream media, they're trying to make this a race thing, political, like always. But deep down, there's going to be some crazy things he's going to be doing. Can you guys imagine? I've never listened to his music. I've seen a little bit of his videos, whatnot, and it's not good. It's not good. It's not good at all. It's not a good image for, our kids to be sitting there watching this halftime show. I can only imagine what they're going to be doing because they do crazy things every year. But with this dude, stay tuned for that in February, y'all. We'll be getting into all that, I'm sure. But it's just annoying how the mainstream media is pushing it. They're making it a race thing. But that's not what it's about, y'all. It's deeper than that.
I feel like I'm missing something, kind of like this guy.
Am I missing something? Am I missing something? Hold on, this is not even the best of it. Am I missing something?
Ice cream
it's
man
going to be all
looks
the kids that's
expensive.
going to be missing after these ice cream trucks get filled up with gas.
So Al-Qaeda is here. I hope we are aware. Within the last 24 hours, there have been several attacks, mass shootings that has taken place in North Carolina, Texas, Louisiana, and now Michigan. Y'all remember when Sarah Adams set up on the Sean Ryan show and she warned and she told us? Y'all remember that? Well, not only that, the Office of National Intelligence, they have warned us and stated that there would be potential Al-Qaeda attacks. Not only that, you had a lot of different agencies warning of these potential attacks. I just find it strange that within the last 24, 48 hours, because even this morning, there was a massive shooting at a church in Dearborn, I believe it is, Dearborn City, Michigan. And in South Texas, 7 people were shot, 2 unalive. At a casino in Louisiana, also, there was somebody from a boat. 3 has been unalive, 8 people in total has been unalive. Are y'all catching what I'm putting down? Now, we just have heard an update that the principal will be attending the meeting. We'll go
to prison if it means I won't have a digital ID. I refuse to be tracked and monitored and surveilled. I outright refuse it. This is the tipping point for our country between freedom and mass authoritarianism. If you don't know, digital IDs is where all of your information is going to be centralized on one database that any future government that either you agree or disagree with is going to have access to your information. The UK, specifically England, is known for something called freedom, autonomy, the ability to not have the state look into our lives all the time. But we're in a position now where that boundary is being crossed. It's not about being left-wing or right-wing. We're talking about inalienable rights. No way does anybody on this tube trust our government or any future government. So why on earth would you trust them to have access to all of your data? I certainly won't. We are meant to be a free country. I'll give you a leaflet, sir. We are meant to be in a position of having liberty. but we don't anymore. We are more surveilled in this country than any other country in Europe. That is outrageous. Thank you, Madam. Appreciate it. I know this sounds annoying, and I know you probably don't want to listen to me, but lots of people are taking leaflets and they're doing it for a reason. They're taking a leaflet because they know something's wrong. They know something is attacking their freedom and they don't have the answer as to what that is. I knew digital IDs were coming in 2020 when they unlawfully locked us down and they brought in vaccine mandates and they introduced a papers, please society. Winston Churchill abolished national ID cards for good reason. We don't believe in a papers, please culture in this country. We believe in autonomy. We believe in freedom. We believe in the right to privacy. The state is now directly influencing and infiltrating our lives and our privacy, and I, for one, am absolutely sick of it.
I mean, I like what he was saying, but if you pay attention to the people around him, nobody was paying attention. Nobody was saying, yes, let's do this. Nobody was, nobody was doing any of that, right? And is there anything you can do? He can't, not by himself. It takes the whole country of the UK to come together. That's the only way. Other than that, fall in line, or if there's only 500 of you guys that are standing up against us, we'll just wipe you guys out. You ain't nothing. You know what I mean? So, like, if that happened here, I'd hate to say it, but the majority of people would just fall in line. We wouldn't come together and make a change because guess what? The masses, the powers that be, are going to make it a political thing. So if the left came out with it, all the people on the left, yeah, we're so for this, but if the right came out with it, the people on the left would be like, no, we're not against, we're not for it, we're against it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, they got us all where they want us, y'all.
What do you think zoning out is? What do you think daydreaming is? All right, these are all forms of going to alternate dimensions, or what they would call jumping timelines. You know what I'm saying? Jumping timelines. Or have you ever focused on something so hard? It's 1 o'clock. Y'all ever notice that? It says 1 o'clock. You focus on something real hard, you look up at 7 o'clock. How? But say you're not focusing on nothing but time and you watching it. Boy, it'll take forever to get to 7 o'clock. But you do something different, all of a sudden it's 7 o'clock. Think about it. When you get up and you go to work your 9 to 5, and you just get up and do your every day, you get up and it flies so quick. Because it don't exist. It's a timeline. And when you move, and you in a whole different reality. Everything you're doing that day, even if you're at work, you in that world. And then when you come home, you ain't in that timeline no more. You in a new timeline. And then when you go in the bathroom by yourself, you're in a whole different timeline. These are timelines. But you jump and control and walk these all day based upon the energy that you emit. You get what I'm saying? This is what you do, being who you are.
I believe he was part of the Apollo missions, and like the big question is there extraterrestrial out there? He's like, I get asked that question all the time. They're not out there, they're here. I've seen them. They said, what? He said, every time I look in the mirror, the Anunnaki brought us here. We're aliens on this earth. And they're like, okay.
Can you expand further, please? Coming up next, 3 handbags you have to get this fall.
And then he started going into the whole Anunnaki brought us here. They created us here. And he's like, we're all aliens on this earth. We don't belong here. And they just moved on. They're like, okay, we're done. I'm like, question him more.
Yeah, let's have a
The man's been to space. He has to know something.
I don't know. I always get kind of weird vibes from like whenever you see Neil Armstrong team, you get interviews before and then they do the interview after. All
like,
of them.
Mad, sad.
They look like their life was sucked out of them. They're like the most upset they could have ever been. And like, you guys went to the moon. What are you doing?
But Katy Perry went to space.
She did.
And she was so cheery when she came back.
That's true. So what does that mean? Katy Perry is Anunnaki.
Extraterrestrial. I was just going to say.
UK citizens will soon be forced to have digital IDs. Otherwise, they will not be able to work. They won't be able to fly. They won't be able to take trains. Pretty much, they won't be able to do anything without digital IDs.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory
Free of
for the right
charge.
to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
Wow.
Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems if we don't also take on the root causes, looking upstream to tackle poverty, conflict.
Guys, in all actuality, they want to make you slaves. They want to control your every move. They want to know everything you're doing, and they want to make it where you absolutely need them. It's slavery. Don't fall for it. Don't come into a place of agreement with it. It's coming. But have no fear, brothers and sisters. Just get closer to God.
The Charlie Kirk killing is significant now. It's not going to withstand the test of history. If you recall, in December, there was another major killing. You probably can't recall, but we all thought that that was also going to withstand the test of history. It was Brian Thompson for United Health,
right,
who was killed by Luigi Mangione.
Right.
We all thought that was going to be significant. We all thought that the first assassination attempt on Donald Trump was going to be something that history remembered forever. People have already forgotten about that, right? Can you even remember the name of the 5-head kid that tried to kill him? It's really tough.
Lee Harvey Oswald. No.
So what we're finding is that we get spun up because headlines start talking a lot about something.
Mm-hmm.
And then conspiracies pop off. That's kind of what you're specializing in right now, is all these popping off conspiracies, right? But they don't withstand the test of time because they eventually get trumped by something else in the world that becomes our new big buzz. The trend that we're seeing here is twofold. There's the trend of information, where people are consuming so much information that if it's not immediately interesting, they forget about it. And they don't forget about it temporarily, they forget about it long term. And then it becomes one of those, oh yeah, that did happen. Oh yeah, I do remember that, right? Half the people watching this right now are like, oh yeah, that did happen. It's not top of mind anymore. And even as you watch somebody else get killed on camera, you're forgetting how many other people just in the last 12 months were either attacked or killed. Political people too. We're talking about like a state representative in Minnesota.
Right.
We're talking about a state representative in Pennsylvania whose house was lit on fire. This is not ancient history. This isn't even 2 years old. This is within the last 12 months. People are like, oh yeah, that did happen. The pace of information. CIA teaches that in information warfare, when you're intentionally trying to use information, you have to worry about volume and pace. Volume and pace. Volume is how much information comes out in a period of time. Pace is the pace at which volume is released over time. So if you increase the pace of information, you can overwhelm whatever information you want to hide. You can also use volume to overwhelm what information you want to hide. That's when you're trying to shape information warfare. We live in a world where technology has made it and human consumption has made it. You don't even need to use those tools anymore because user-generated content has increased both the volume and the pace of information to such a point that if you want to shape a message, it can be shaped without any effort at all. That's what you're seeing with Israel. That's what you're seeing with Charlie Kirk. That's what you're seeing all over the world is even as countries want to shape a narrative, they're realizing, shit, dude, we can just kind of sit on our thumbs, save a couple bucks because the pace of information is so fast that we're going to be talking about, the Kardashians or some pop music artist that's on trial in just a few weeks. So let's.
Hey, do y'all remember the New York tunnels? You know, the dirty mattress and the high chair tunnels? The ones where people were popping out of the sidewalk. The one that was on the news for maybe one day and then no one ever talked about it again. Y'all remember that? What happened with all that? Reportedly there's tunnels everywhere, and we know about these tunnels, but then we just stopped talking about these tunnels.
Most artists are living check to check.
Why are they living paycheck to paycheck?
Because they get paid semi-annually, and that's if they're recouped. So meaning like, if I give you $2 million and your music didn't make $2 million back, you're not going to see another check from the label. Because once again, let's look at it just simply. I'm me. If I give you $2 million and you say, yeah, it's for my music, and I say, cool, when your music has made $2 million back, give me back my investment, and then everything after that is split 50-50. Well, if you never make back the $2 million,
you burn that shit, yeah.
Of course you're not going to see another check from me for what? You didn't even make back the $2 million. So a lot of artists, they're unrecouped. They spent that $2 million.
know, they spent that advance. So they're not even going to get those semi-annual checks. And if you are recouped, you're going to get 2 checks a year from the label. And that's why you get this whole fucking narrative of people being like, well, you got to tour. That's where the money is. No, man, the money is in music.
Oh, you think Uber Eats is safe? Look at the robots out here. That's a robot delivering a fucking Uber Eat. Our jobs are even getting taken, bro. Look at this shit. Look at them. These are Uber Eat robots. Our jobs are about to be taken. Look at that. That's an Uber Eat robot, bro. That is an Uber Eat robot. What the fuck? This is what I make money off of. Hey, yo. I'm trying to tell y'all. That was an Uber Eat robot, bro. Like I said, they're coming. Not gonna matter soon, bro. I'm trying to tell you, nobody's safe. I can't believe I just witnessed that. In Jersey City. Yeah, I'm in Jersey City. You guys, stay frosty. Peace to God. No, fuck that. I gotta talk about this. Fuck that piece. Bro, y'all think it's a game. Robots, I tell you, one day, you're gonna just come out of your house. And they're gonna be among us.
Kris Jenner is the new face of MAC makeup, but every time I see a picture of Kris Jenner, I ask myself how it's even possible to look like that. I don't understand how people can say she just had plastic surgery. That's impossible. When you're 70 years old, there aren't 50 ways to stretch the skin. I don't think it's just plastic surgery. Everyone tries to convince me there's some way to turn a 70-year-old woman into someone who looks 30. How is it possible that she looks younger than her own daughters in their 30s and 40s? Sure, some parts of the body can be worked on, but you can't make the skin on the neck look that young again. And if you thought Kris Jenner was the only one, she's not. It's the same with Martha Stewart. Everybody ages normally, then suddenly they seem to decide one day to look half their age. What's going on? Is there some kind of elite procedure to fix a flabby neck? Is this method being kept secret by the elites, while regular people like us don't get access to it? Like I said, at that age, such a shocking transformation shouldn't even be possible. And when you look at this version of Kris Jenner, she doesn't look anything like the person we used to see everywhere. She's become almost flawless at 70. But what's going to happen when she gets even older?
So Peter Thiel, the guy who was supposed to give the 4-part seminar on the Antichrist, was also named in the Epstein files, along with Bill Gates, who I already talked about, Elon Musk. All have been named in the Epstein files that have been released. Now, is it me, or are they slowly trying to take down the richest people in the world right now? Just think about it. Whether or not they went to the island, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and Bill Gates, Prince Andrews are all some of the richest people in the world. And those are the 4 names that were dropped that were notable. So is this them trying to take down the rich, the richest, by releasing their names first? Sure seems like it. There were meetings that were supposed to happen between Elon Musk and Jeffrey Epstein, along with Peter Thiel and Jeffrey Epstein. Mind you, they probably already met several times, but this is just the initial files that have been released that details these names. But we're all waiting for that one name. Like, yes, all these names, yeah, detail us. We're waiting for the one guy's name. Everyone knows who we're waiting for.
We got a situation where we have an aircraft crash that's possibly friendly, and they need us to go and secure the crash site. And we're like, fine. So this is late at night. I know about 11 or 12 at night. And I was on guard duty that night, so I was already up. And it was my shift. We have 12-hour shifts, 12 on, 12 off. And where we rotate our section. So we all went out that night. We got up, I don't know, 3 or 4 in the morning and headed out in Humvees. We had about 5 or 6 Hummers, and we drove to where we needed to go. And then from there, we had to hump through the bush. So we got there, I don't know, 6, 7, just when daylight had just started to get light. And we found the area really easy because there was a huge gash in the land where something had crashed, and it didn't break anything. I don't know if you've ever been to a crash site where you had trees just broken like in half. Everything was burned, and it was like if you had almost cut like a warm butter with a knife. I mean, it was just, it's like something on fire or had or some kind of energy, like a laser almost had like gutted. I mean, it was really strange. And anyway, I was in the front with Sergeant Allen and Sergeant Atkins. We were up front, and we were we were point basically, and we were like, I don't know, 10, 20 meters ahead of everyone else. We all had maps and radios and compasses, so we knew so we wouldn't get lost. And basically, we were the first ones to see the object. And basically, what happened is we didn't go straight up the hill, because basically this thing went up the hill and then off into the side of the ravine or the ridge. This is about a 200-foot ridge, at least. Solid granite. I mean, it's rock. I don't know if it's granite. It was buried in the side of the cliff. But anyway, we didn't go straight up. We went on to the left and walked up to the top of the ridge. And that's when we saw the craft. This is a huge ship, and you know, I used to be into sci-fi movies when I was a kid, but this is nothing like I'd ever seen. And when I first saw it, you know, I was scared. It scared the heck out of me. You know, I didn't know what to do, and it was just, it was really confusing. So we all climbed down, and it was buried for about a 45-degree angle into the side of the side of the cliff there, the ridge. And I mean, this is a steep cliff. I mean, it's straight up and down, and it was dripping this syrup-like viscosity, this liquid. It was everywhere, all down everywhere when we went down there, because there was plants and everything. And it was weird. It was a purplish green color, and it was a greenish purple, and it kind of like fluctuated. Like you couldn't really, when you'd look at it one time, then you look at it again, and it would like, it's almost like it. I don't know if it was like alive and it was just changing, but every time you looked at it, you saw a different shade of greenish purple. It was strange. There was one light on it that slowly went around, and the machine, I could hear it. I guess because it was still functioning, and it had like a hum to it, like a really bass, like say if you unplugged an amp from a guitar, that kind of, you know, it was really, you know, it was really deep, and it kind of fluctuated, and then finally it just cut off, and everything just seemed to stop, except the colors and the shades, and it was still that way.
Now, if you think it's an accident that a shutdown of the government is being talked about at the same time that over 800, that's the count, 800 top generals in military and admirals and military leadership have been summoned to the Pentagon tomorrow for a meeting. And they told the world that they were doing this. See, this isn't like a secret. They told people that they're doing it, and it could have been done on teleconference. Why? They're calling the generals home. You need to know why. They're calling them home because they're preparing for something to happen at home. That's what I'm saying. Keep your eye on the ball. All right, so
they're trying. Now, this video was made Monday. Today is Wednesday. It's crazy how much the news changes from, this is old news already. It just happened Monday, right? But government shut down today. Now, I didn't really follow what those general meetings were about, but the gist of it from thumbnails and whatnot were they're out of shape. They need to get in shape. That's what they're telling us. We had this huge meeting of 200 generals, admirals. Trump was there. Everybody was there, right? To tell them you guys are fat and need to get in shape. That's what they're telling us. Don't worry. There's nothing crazy here. We just met at the Pentagon. Could have done a telecom. Just tell everybody to get in shape. Coming from Trump, who drinks 30 Cokes and McDonald's every day, right? I don't know if that's the narrative, but that's what I've seen today, this morning. It's 4 a.m. right now. I'm just seeing all these things. Well, it's not 4 no more, but that's when I saw all these things. So we'll see what happens tomorrow's video. But man, they just lie to us, y'all. They just lie to us. We just got all these people together because we just want to tell them they're fat and they need to get in shape.
All the cars look like this soulless iRobot Audi. Remember this car? This movie came out in 2004. They're trying to make all the cars look like that. Look at this.
Yeah, that's what they look like now.
Look. No personality. Look at that slit face. No personality, no soul.
No bumper.
Why are they doing this? This is more than just, they're trying to make it look futuristic. No. This is on purpose. All the cars have this soulless, expressionless, blank face design. Look, even the trucks. Look at that truck. He has nothing going on in his head. Look at that. See this truck? They all look the same, man. Soulless Decepticon cars, man. It looks like this joint is gonna, transform and take you clean to Cybertron. Look at that. What's this, a Nissan or a Toyota? Okay. Bro. So, this is just a car wave. You're overthinking this. Everything they do is on purpose. It's all subliminal. It's all on purpose. They're trying to... I think this has to do with the one world thing. Make everyone have the same car. We worship the same false god. All that.
I don't know why they're coming out with these EV trucks still. Like, nobody's buying those. I bought a 4xe Jeep, right? It's gone now. I sold it. I hated the damn thing. I'll never own another Jeep in my life, but that's another story. But I had that 4xe. It was so bad on gas, y'all. It was so... First of all, the battery that you charge, it takes, I think, 16 hours to charge. So you had to charge it overnight. All day, all night. Not 16. I think it was like 12 hours, something like that. Right? All day, all night. And then you get 30 miles, and you didn't even get 30 miles. You're lucky if you got 20 miles. I would go to the store, which is down the street, back, and maybe if I'm lucky, I could get back to the store the next day, and it's done. Like, there's people that were saying, I get 500 gallons to a gas tank. So that's why I got it. I'm like, oh, that's pretty dope. Man, these people had that Jeep on the charger all day, all night. That thing was always on the charger because you barely drive down the street. You drive 2 miles, it says you drove 10 miles. Those trucks, maybe a Prius or something's a good hybrid or nice, car. But trucks, man, bad investment, y'all.
I've been watching how streamer Castanet been moving lately. Like, he's not just gaming anymore, but he's brushing shoulders with some of the biggest names in the industry. And as y'all know, he recently attended the Met Gala after party.
How was the Met? It was great. Oh, no, I didn't. I heard what you said.
And then on his stream, he brought on a preacher for a full-on prophecy session. And I don't know if the guest is a certified minister. Really doesn't matter, I guess. But the way that he was speaking on the chat had a lot of people shook. And some viewers said that it felt like church. Other viewers said that it felt like they were playing church.
Thank you, Father, in the name of Jesus, for how you love your children, God. Thank you, Father, in the name of Jesus, for how you heal your child, your children, God. For how you bring that thing to the surface and, Father, put it back where it belongs. I ask you in the name of Jesus, God, finish touching your son right now as we speak. I ask you, Father, in the name of Jesus, help him stop blocking his own blessing, God.
Me personally, I didn't see anything wrong with that. But I do side-eye the interactions between Ray J and Deshae. It's just very sus.
Listen, Ray J. Oh, wait, you got four? Ray J, you got fist for the night, got you. Yo. Deshae? I got you. Deshae? No, you better not rub it. Okay. Deshae! Let me get this.
They even tried to pull iShow Speed into something strange. He went to a woman's house for content, but when she started talking about inviting certain things in, he literally bounced midstream.
The only thing you have to do is just to be open and say yes. We have free will.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Have you ever had a reading before?
Yes. No.
They gave you a surprise today, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of scared.
Do you guys remember that story from Isaiah where the Assyrian army was marching to Jerusalem and God said that I will not let them enter Jerusalem, and he sent an angel, came down and killed the entire army? Thus said the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into the city or shoot an arrow there or come before it with a shield or cast up a siege mound against it. By the way he shall return, and he shall not come into the city, declares the Lord. For I will defend the city to save it for my own sake and for the sake of my servant David. And an angel of the Lord went down and struck down 185,000 in the camp of the Assyrians. Apparently just found proof of that battle.
No way.
This archaeologist, he went and he found this old ancient Assyrian coin looking thing. And basically what it was a layout for an army and like what mountain peaks that they're at and stuff. And he's like,
man, yesterday we made a video and it was playing Patrick Bet David in the PBD podcast. And they were talking about how, they believed there was another shooter and stuff like that as far as the Charlie Kirk situation. And at the end, they were talking about how they wanted an autopsy. Everybody's waiting for this autopsy. Everyone. Interesting enough, I woke up today and a video was on Twitter of a dispatcher, or somebody was talking about how there was no autopsy. And Grok was asked if this was true, if this was real, and Grok did not deny the video being real. Let me play this clip real quick.
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Okay, can you just do a field clip documenting that?
I'm sorry, 10-9?
Can you just add a step to the case documenting that there was no autopsy? And
287, I'll declare the hospital.
I need an officer at Timpanogos Hospital to come stage in the emergency room bay.
Jesse just told me that he just got a call and Charlie's wife is coming to signature and to bring in a car over here for her.
Charlie's wife is coming to land at signature, you said?
Sir, and Jesse's going to go to Duncan right now and pick up a car for her.
Okay, I'm a little confused because Corey just said that they're landing at Duncan, so I don't know where they're landing, but we will just kind of play it by ear, I guess, best that we can.
I'm not sure if they were saying Charlie's wife was coming to land a signature for an autopsy not to be done. Because they were talking about the autopsy, then they said that. And I'm like, I don't think that would happen, right? Nobody would want an autopsy not to be done. So when I heard that, I'm like, maybe they were talking about something else. And as far as autopsies, in Utah, where the incident occurred, state law, Utah code, first of all, it's required. Requires the medical examiner to investigate deaths from violence or gunshots. And autopsies are standard for homicides to determine cause and collect evidence. Skipping one in such a case will not align with typical procedures. Though specifics can vary, news reports indicate an autopsy was performed with a report pending. Now this is talking about Charlie's autopsy. So there it says it was. There the audio says it wasn't. Here's what I want to say about the whole situation, right? Because I've had different people and seen different videos when it comes to Erica and stuff like that. I wouldn't be quick to jump on that. I wouldn't be quick to walk across that bridge. Okay? Many people are talking about her, and I want to make this public. I'm not saying I'm opposed to what people are saying, but I wouldn't be so quick to walk across that bridge. Right? Many people are talking about Erica's emotions. She wasn't showing enough.
Okay guys, breaking news. There has just been not one, not two, but 3 mass shootings in the United States. I never thought we'd be doing 3 in the same video. The first is at a Mormon church in Grand Blanc, Michigan. Now we don't know the shooter's identity or motive yet, but they are reportedly down. There are also multiple victims, which do also include children, and the church that it happened at is now on fire and burning down. The second mass shooting happened in North Carolina after a 40-year-old man pulled up to a waterfront bar on a boat and opened fire. He killed 3 people and injured 8 more, most of which were just people on holiday. The man is being identified as Nigel Edge. He's been charged with multiple counts of first-degree murder, and police say that the attack was highly premeditated. Now, the third, all of which happened within about 14 hours of each other, was at the largest casino in Texas. A man opened fire at a number of people, killing 2, and 5 others had to be airlifted to hospital. The gunman fled the scene, but now police say that they do have someone in custody. Now, according to the Gun Violence Archive, there has now been 320 mass shootings in the U.S. this year alone.
And it's just crazy how these breaking news stories, they're not even breaking news no more, but how quick it becomes old news. Like these mass shootings. I just made, like I said, I made this video Monday to react to on Tuesday, but I didn't do a reaction yesterday, so I'm doing it today. And it's already old news. Like that CIA spy was saying, you don't even remember what the name of the Trump shooter was. Did you notice how that dude remembered Lee Harvey Oswald? We all know that name. We all know it. It's stuck in here. Because back then the knowledge, the breaking news wasn't coming through so fast. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. You made it this far. You know what to do. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, y'all. It's October 1st, y'all. It's October 1st. It's a good day. And it's already, by the time you guys see this, the day's already over. So just started October 2nd. It's a good day to do a nice, sober October. Segovia is trying. He's going to try to do carnivore, keto/carnivore for the month of October. That's my sober, right? I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I'm already sober from that. That's not a challenge. My challenge is sticking to a keto carnivore diet for the month of October, y'all. Let me know if you guys want to join. All my social medias are down below. I got my TikTok down below, my Instagram, my Facebook. I'm gonna start doing, shorts over there. I did some shorts on my YouTube channel. I don't know if any of you guys saw it. I took it off really quick because I don't know why, but when you post shorts on your big channel, it kills the long form videos. I hate that happens. I would love to put shorts over here for you guys, but it just kills the video. So I'm not going to be uploading shorts over here. They'll be on TikTok. All that information is down below. Y'all go over there and follow me. I'm going to start. And on my Instagram, I'm going to kind of document on the stories and post my little sober October journey I'm going to try to do, right? So if you guys are interested in that, go down below, follow me over there, y'all. That's about it going on. I'm watching the baby today. So, it's early. I feel a nap coming up later. I woke up at 4, I've been up since then. So probably about 12 o'clock, a little nap, probably go out there and water the plants right now. Nothing really going on today. Y'all just relaxing. When I got the baby, I don't do much. I try not to do a lot. Just try to give all my energy to him. So this is Segovia. I'm signing out of the man cave. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next one, y'all. Let me know down below if y'all want to join that Sober October with me. Links down below. Later.